Walk into a gun shop in 2026, and you will hear the same thing you hear every few years. A new caliber is faster, a new platform is lighter, a new cartridge is supposed to change everything. Then the shelves get thin, prices move, trends cool off, and that miracle round nobody could stop talking about suddenly gets hard to find. But 357 Magnum never really left. That is the difference. This round has already proven itself in the woods, on the range, in duty holsters, in nightstands, and in the hands of shooters who care more about performance than marketing. But here is where buyers need to be careful. Not every 357 Magnum revolver deserves the reputation that comes with the cartridge. Some are built for carry, some are built for hard use, some are collector-grade legends. Some are smooth enough to make you understand the price tag, and some are simply tough enough to outlast the person who bought them. The cartridge is proven. The real question is which revolver actually earns your money. So today, we are breaking down the 10 greatest 357 Magnum revolvers ever built. Not just by name, not just by history, and definitely not by hype. We are looking at what each one does best, who it is really for, and why these 10 still matter in 2026. Number 10. Kimber K6s. The Kimber K6s is a precision revolver with a very simple advantage. It gives you 6 rounds in a size class where a lot of competitors only give you 5. Kimber built its reputation on high-end 1911 pistols, but in 2016 they brought that same no-compromise engineering mindset into the revolver world. The mission was clear: fix the snub-nose problem. Most concealed carry revolvers force you into a compromise. They are either small enough to hide, or they carry enough rounds to feel truly practical. Usually, you do not get both. Kimber pushed the cylinder diameter right down to the mechanical limit. That gave shooters one of the most compact 6-shot 357 Magnum revolvers on the market. Kimber also marketed the platform as the world's lightest production 6-shot 357 Magnum, and that is the whole identity of the gun. Deep concealment size, with serious Magnum capability. The K6s is built from premium stainless steel. Depending on the version, you are looking at either a brushed stainless finish or a DLC coating. It is a good example of what modern revolver engineering looks like when a company actually takes the small frame Magnum seriously. Inside, Kimber gives you either a smooth, non-stacking double-action only trigger or a double-action, single-action system. Both are built around an internal sear designed for consistent match-grade performance. That matters because on a compact revolver, a bad trigger can ruin the whole gun. Instead of the tiny fixed sight bumps you see on a lot of older snub-nose revolvers, the K6s uses a real 3-dot sight system. Many models include night sights or fiber optics, and those sights are dovetailed into the frame. So this is not just a belly gun you point and hope with. You can actually get true point-of-aim accuracy at distances where many compact revolvers start to struggle. The K6s stands out for the shooter who wants Magnum-level performance, without the usual punishment that comes with a compact frame. A lot of snub-nose Magnums have a sharp, nasty snap. This one feels more controlled, more like a firm push. That reduces strain on your wrists and joints compared to lighter alloy revolvers. And instead of wrestling the gun back on target after every shot, the design works with your shooting mechanics. It helps the gun settle naturally, it helps the sights return, and it lets each shot go where you actually intended. For 2026, expect the K6s to live around the $950 to $1,150 range in normal street pricing. The final number depends on the exact model, finish, barrel length, and dealer. The takeaway is simple. The Kimber K6s is the compact Magnum for the buyer who wants concealability without giving up that 6th round. Number 9. Manurhin MR73. The Manurhin MR73 is not just a revolver, it is a machine built to fire 100 rounds a day, every single day, for decades, without coming apart. That is not hype. That is why this revolver exists. The MR73 came out of a serious moment in the 1970s. After the Munich Olympic tragedy, France's elite counterterrorism unit, GIGN, realized ordinary service revolvers were not holding up. Standard duty guns, including the Smith Wesson Model 19, could not survive their training schedule. They were firing around 100 full-power rounds every day. That is brutal work for any handgun. So they partnered with Manurhin to build something stronger, something that could handle massive round counts and still maintain match-grade accuracy. The result was a revolver engineered not just to meet the standard, but to outlast its operator. The internal engineering of the MR73 is unlike almost anything else on the market. The frame, cylinder, and cold hammer forged barrel are made from ordnance-certified alloyed steel. The gun is proof-tested at pressures 30% higher than the maximum allowable limit. That tells you what lane this revolver lives in. Its most unique feature is the trigger mechanism. It uses a separate flat spring and a roller-bearing slider system. That cuts friction. It also allows independent adjustment of both the hammer spring and the trigger return. And it does that without giving up reliable ignition. That level of tuning is usually something you expect in high-end competition rifles. Not a service revolver, the MR73 is the definitive choice for a shooter who believes a firearm should be a once-in-a-lifetime purchase. It gives you refined control. The gun feels intuitive, not like something you have to fight. Every movement feels fluid, predictable, deliberate. And when you shoot a revolver like this, you understand where the money went. For 2026, a new MR73 generally starts around $3,899. Certain variants and dealer prices can push higher. Used models often land closer to the mid-$2,000 range, depending on condition and configuration. The role here is clear. The Manurhin MR73 is the serious money. Lifetime use revolver for the shooter who wants endurance at a level most handguns never even approach. Number 8. Ruger Blackhawk. The Ruger Blackhawk is a single-action masterpiece built to handle the heaviest Magnum loads without breaking a sweat. Back in 1955, Bill Ruger looked at the discontinued Colt single-action army and saw a mechanical opportunity. The old Colts were beautiful, no question, but their flat-leaf springs had a reputation for snapping under hard use. Ruger took that classic frontier gun layout and modernized it. The Blackhawk used nearly unbreakable coil springs. It used investment cast chrome moly steel, and it gave shooters an old-school single-action revolver with a much tougher mechanical foundation. Then in 1973, the Blackhawk evolved into the new model. That version introduced a transfer bar safety system, and that was a major shift. It allowed the revolver to be carried safely with all 6 chambers loaded. That finally solved a safety issue that had followed single-action revolvers for about a century. The Blackhawk is defined by its massive solid top strap. It also uses a cold hammer forged barrel that gives the gun strong rifling life and real accuracy. Unlike traditional Western-style revolvers, the Blackhawk comes with fully adjustable target sights. That matters because this gun can be set up for a wide range of loads. Light 38 special practice loads, heavy 180 grain bear loads, and plenty of serious Magnum ammunition in between. Inside, the Blackhawk is famously rugged. You get a loading gate interlock, you get a massive cylinder pin, and the whole system is built to stay properly timed even after thousands of high-pressure Magnum cycles. Choosing the Blackhawk is about owning a revolver that really does not have an expiration date. It trades modern complexity for rugged simplicity. It feels more like a natural extension of your hand than a delicate piece of technology. And because it encourages a slower, more deliberate shooting rhythm, it reduces the tendency to rush. It makes every round count. It is the ultimate choice for somebody who wants a firearm that is as reliable as a hammer and just as easy to pass down. For 2026, a new Ruger Blackhawk usually lands around $850 to $1,050, depending on the exact model. Used new model variants often sell in the $500 to $650 range. The takeaway is easy. The Ruger Blackhawk is the heavy-load, long-life single-action revolver for shooters who want strength over flash. Number 7. Smith Wesson Model 19. The Smith Wesson Model 19 hits a balance that made it legendary. Light enough to carry all day, heavy enough to bring real Magnum authority. In the mid-1950s, Legendary Border Patrolman Bill Jordan pushed Smith & Wesson to build the peace officer's dream revolver. At the time, lawmen had a problem. The big end-frame guns could handle Magnum power, but they were a burden on the belt. The smaller K-frame revolvers carried better, but they were chambered in .38 Special. Jordan wanted a K-frame built around the .357 Magnum, a heavy barrel, a shrouded extractor, specialized heat-treated steel, a revolver that gave working officers real power without turning all-day carry into punishment. Smith & Wesson delivered in 1955, and the Model 19 quickly became one of the most iconic police sidearms of the 20th century. At the heart of the Model 19 is the legendary K-frame. It is built from carbon steel and treated through a demanding heat-hardening process. The sights are practical and precise. You get an adjustable rear sight. You get a pinned ramp front sight, and the action is known for clean, consistent timing. A traditional leaf mainspring gives you that classic Smith & Wesson trigger feel. That glass rod break is one reason shooters still talk about these guns with real respect. Modern classic variants have been strengthened in the areas that matter. That helps them deal better with today's faster, higher-pressure Magnum loads. The current no internal lock version also brings back the cleaner traditional frame profile that many Smith & Wesson fans prefer. The Model 19 shines for shooters who care about balance and handling. It is not bulky. It is not awkward. It moves smoothly from the draw to the target, light enough for all-day carry, but stable enough when you actually run the gun. If your technique is solid, the Model 19 rewards you with a polished, high-performance feel. For 2026, new classic versions usually sit in the low $1,000 range. The current no internal lock version is listed around $1,119. Older pre-lock models in solid condition often bring $900 to $1,500, depending on rarity, condition, and finish. The Smith & Wesson Model 19 is the balanced carry and duty Magnum. It is for the buyer who wants power, handling, and history in one frame size. Number 6. Colt King Cobra. The Colt King Cobra is the heavy-duty workhorse of Colt's snake gun lineup. It brings real Colt performance into a more practical, everyday package. The King Cobra first appeared in 1986. It was Colt's answer to the service-grade market that Smith & Wesson and Ruger were dominating. The Python was the expensive hand-fitted showpiece. The King Cobra had a different job. It was built as a durable stainless steel revolver for patrol cars, rugged holsters, and real-world duty use. After a long pause, Colt brought the name back in 2019. But they did not just clone the old gun, they re-engineered the platform. The modern King Cobra became a mid-size revolver that bridges the gap between a compact carry gun and a full-size duty sidearm. The current King Cobra is built from high-strength stainless steel. It uses a brushed finish that gives it better corrosion resistance than traditional blued finishes. The action is driven by Colt's linear leaf spring trigger system. That system is designed to give a uniform pull through the stroke. A full underlug barrel adds weight up front. That gives the gun better stability. And the interchangeable front sight, often a brass bead or fiber optic, lets the shooter tune the sight picture for the lighting and environment. If you want something that feels smooth, but can still take some abuse, the King Cobra fits the bill. It has that refined Colt feel, but it is not a fragile display piece. It handles more like a high-end custom revolver, with a natural and easy shooting character. At the same time, it is not oversized, so carrying it through a long day does not feel unreasonable. That is the sweet spot here. Refined enough to appreciate, tough enough to use. For 2026, current King Cobra models generally sit around $1,119 to $1,149 at MSRP. Street prices can come in lower depending on dealer and configuration. That still keeps the King Cobra well below the cost of a Python. The takeaway is this. The Colt King Cobra is the practical Colt revolver for the shooter who wants snake gun character without Python-level money. Number 5. Ruger Security 6. The Ruger Security 6 is a rock-solid classic. It proved you do not need a massive frame to handle a lifetime of Magnums. In the early 1970s, Ruger wanted to challenge the two major players in the law enforcement revolver market. Smith & Wesson K-frames were comfortable, but for high-volume Magnum use over the long haul, they could be somewhat delicate. Ruger designed the Security 6 from the ground up as a stronger alternative. It was Ruger's first major double-action revolver line, and it used a design that was radical for its time. No side plate. That created a solid frame vault that was significantly stronger than many competing designs. The Security 6 is a masterclass in simplicity and strength. It uses all-steel construction, and there are no side-plate screws waiting to vibrate loose under recoil. The modular design lets the entire trigger mechanism come out as one unit. That makes field cleaning much easier. The frame is investment cast from chrome moly or stainless steel, and unlike a lot of vintage revolvers, it uses a transfer bar safety system. That makes it drop safe. It also makes it secure to carry with a full cylinder. Most examples have fully adjustable rear sights and a pinned front ramp. That gives the shooter a visible and practical target picture. The Security 6 is the best choice for the shooter who values a tool that is just enough without being too much. It feels good in the hand, it stays quick, it stays easy to run. There is no extra fluff here, no unnecessary styling, just a solid, reliable revolver that has been proven over time. Ruger no longer produces the Security 6, but these well-regarded revolvers are still widely available on the secondary market. For 2026, used prices usually land around $550 to $750, depending on condition. The Ruger Security 6 is the classic used market value pick. It is for buyers who want a tough, proven Magnum without chasing modern hype. Number 4. Smith & Wesson Model 686. The Smith & Wesson Model 686 is the stainless steel powerhouse built for a steady diet of Magnums. In the late 1970s, Smith & Wesson had a problem to solve. Their K-frame revolvers were easy to carry, but long-term stress from high-velocity Magnum rounds could become an issue. So in 1981, Smith & Wesson introduced the L-frame. The Model 686 became the stainless steel flagship of this new breed. It was a beefed-up revolver with a larger forcing cone and a full underlug barrel. It was designed to give law enforcement and enthusiasts a gun that felt as comfortable to shoot as a target pistol, but tough enough to handle serious Magnum use. The 686 is forged from high-grade, corrosion-resistant stainless steel. That makes it a strong option for humidity, weather, and outdoor use. It has a reinforced frame. The cylinder was widened to handle increased pressure, and one of its most recognizable traits is the full-length barrel underlug. That underlug adds weight exactly where it matters. Out front, it helps counter muzzle flip. It makes the gun feel more planted. And on the range, that shows up fast. Inside, the 686 uses the classic Smith & Wesson leaf spring system. That gives you a smooth, predictable double-action pull and a crisp, light single-action brake. For a lot of revolver shooters, that trigger feel is still the benchmark. This revolver is the ultimate choice for shooters who value absolute consistency in every environment. It gives you a heavy-duty, grounded feel. Every movement feels deliberate. Every shot feels controlled. And you never feel like the .357 Magnum is pushing you around. For 2026, a new Model 686 usually lands around $950 to $1,150 in typical street to MSRP range. Exact price depends on barrel length, capacity, and model variant. The role here is obvious. The Smith & Wesson Model 686 is the serious shooter's stainless Magnum. It is built for people who actually plan to shoot the gun often, not just admire it in the safe. Number 3. Smith & Wesson Model 27. The Smith & Wesson Model 27 is the legend that introduced the world to .357 Magnum power in 1935. The Model 27 is the direct descendant of the registered Magnum. That was the first firearm chambered for the .357 Magnum cartridge. It launched during the height of the 1930s gangster era. At first, it was a custom order-only gun. Buyers could specify details like barrel length, grip style, and hammer configuration. Smith & Wesson built it on the company's largest frame, the N frame. That was not an accident. The new Magnum cartridge produced pressures that were unprecedented at the time. The frame had to be strong enough to handle it. Later, the more utilitarian Model 28 was created for police work. But the Model 27 stayed the premium gun. High polish, better finish. A revolver for elite lawmen and serious shooters who wanted the best Smith & Wesson could build. The Model 27 is constructed on a heavy end frame made from forged carbon steel. That mass helps manage recoil. Its checkered top strap and barrel rib are both functional and good-looking. They reduce glare, and they add the kind of detail that separates a premium revolver from an ordinary service gun. The action uses a leaf spring mainspring. That produces a smooth trigger pull. The gun is equipped with a pinned front ramp sight and an adjustable rear sight. Current classic variants keep the traditional grip geometry and high Polish blued look. They also reflect modern production standards while preserving the old-school Model 27 character. The Model 27 is for shooters who want the most refined .357 Magnum experience. Every action feels solid, intentional, mechanical in the best possible way. It is built to last, and it carries a strong sense of traditional craftsmanship and durability. For 2026, current listings put the 4-inch Model 27 Classic around $1,249. Longer barrel versions usually land slightly higher, depending on availability and retailer. The takeaway is clear. The Smith & Wesson Model 27 is the original king. It is for the buyer who values history, craftsmanship, and the roots of the Magnum era. Number 2. Colt Python. The Colt Python is a legendary masterpiece. It is known for one of the smoothest out-of-the-box actions in revolver history. Colt introduced the Python in 1955. It was intended to be a premium large-frame combat Magnum, and it quickly earned a reputation as one of the finest handguns ever made. The hand-fitted internals mattered. The famous royal blue finish mattered. The whole gun felt like Colt was trying to prove a point. Original production ended in 2005, but the Python made a massive comeback in 2020. The modern version was not just a nostalgia project. Colt completely re-engineered the gun. The updated Python includes 30% more steel beneath the rear sight. That gives the frame more strength where Colt wanted it, and it helps the modern version handle a lifetime of use, while still keeping the soul of the 1950s legend. The Python uses a redesigned trigger system. It has a simplified, more robust leaf spring that gives the shooter a consistent pull without stacking. You can spot a Python instantly. Full-length barrel underlug, ventilated top rib. That rib helps with heat. The underlug adds weight to the front of the gun, and together they give the Python its unmistakable look and feel. The frame and barrel are forged from high-grade stainless steel on stainless models. That gives strong resistance to the elements. The Python also features a user-replaceable front sight, and the recessed target crown helps protect the rifling. That is the kind of detail that helps the gun stay accurate for the long haul. The Python is all about smoothness and ease of use. The action feels slick. You are not thinking about the trigger. You are focused on the shot. It is also very well balanced. In the hand, it can feel lighter and more natural than the size suggests. If you are after precision and a premium feel, it is hard to beat. For 2026, current Colt Python pricing usually starts around $1,499 for matte blued variants. Many standard Python, classic Python, stainless and blued models list around $1,699. Exact pricing depends on barrel length, finish, and dealer. The Colt Python is the premium smooth action pick. It is for the buyer who wants top-tier feel, iconic styling, and modern strength in one revolver. Number 1. Ruger GP100. The Ruger GP100 is a medium-frame powerhouse built to digest full-power magnums without flinching. Ruger introduced the GP100 in 1985. It was Ruger's second-generation answer to the need for a general-purpose duty revolver. It was designed to replace the Security 6 line, and Ruger made it much beefier. The mission was simple: build a revolver that could survive an extremely high round count of .357 Magnum. By eliminating the traditional side plate and using solid frame construction, Ruger created a machine that could be field stripped into 3 major modules with almost no tools. That practical design is a big part of why this gun has such a loyal following. It remains the gold standard for shooters who prioritize mechanical longevity over aesthetic delicacy. The GP100 is defined by its triple locking cylinder mechanism. The cylinder locks into the frame at the front, rear, and bottom. That helps maintain positive alignment and dependable operation shot after shot. Its frame is investment cast from specialized alloy or stainless steel, and it uses Ruger's unique grip peg design instead of a full grip frame. That lets the user swap between different ergonomic grips without being limited by the metal's shape. It also features a heavy full-length underlug barrel, and it uses a transfer bar safety system. That gives the revolver an added measure of drop safety. This revolver is the premier choice for shooters who need a tool that can handle the worst-case scenario. Low-quality ammunition, harsh outdoor elements, high round counts, heavy use. The GP100's solid frame design keeps things from shifting, rattling, or breaking. It gives you a smooth, rhythmic action that builds confidence with every cycle, and that makes it an ideal anchor for any serious equipment setup. It takes the #1 spot because it replaces modern gadgetry with raw, proven strength. For 2026, standard GP100 models commonly sit around $1,029 to $1,149 at MSRP. That depends on finish, barrel length, and capacity. The Match Champion lists around $1,299. Super GP100 pricing varies by model and dealer, so this is one place where the buyer should check current listings before locking in a number. The takeaway is simple. The Ruger GP100 is the modern workhorse king. It is the revolver for buyers who want strength, longevity, and confidence over polish and flash. We have covered some of the best revolvers ever made, and even in 2026, with all the new designs, new materials, and lightweight platforms out there, these 357 Magnum revolvers still stand at the top. They were not built around gimmicks. They were built around longevity, reliability, real service life. When you carry one or take one into the field, you are relying on decades of proven performance. So here's the question. If you could only take one of these into the field, would it be the original King, the Smith Wesson Model 27? Or the modernized workhorse, the Smith Wesson Model 686? Drop your thoughts below. See you soon. And take care.